Welcome to Vienna. The train ride from the airport is very ugly, so I will spare you. Dropped my bags at Motel 1 Vienna-Staatsoper. A block away, the State Opera opened in 1869.
I have walked exactly 1 block, and there's so much beauty already. Oh, Vienna is very beautiful. It's very noisy and busy, though, as well.
For lunch, Brasserie Palmenhaus, overlooking the Burggarten. First thought, Vienna is expensive. Or did I just pick a tourist trap? Perhaps both are true. But I can't deny that the veal patties were excellent. Time for a twirl around the Burggarten. The Palace Garden of the Hofburg, the former residence of the Habsburg dynasty. I've not yet visited. When choosing where to visit, so many palaces, so little time. Vienna's preservation of its imperial past is everywhere. Extravagant, elegant, consistent. Stephansplatz in the medieval church. I've always loved the striking patterns on the roof. Of course, I had to go in. I love visiting churches. Naturally, it was incredibly grand, aside from the tarps. Time to eat again. This time, Schmarren. Read that it was a must-try, so let's get to it. Schmarren is like a shredded pancake in a pan. At $17.90, this is expensive. And let's be honest, this doesn't really look like a healthy dinner. Felt like I had eaten a brick. I couldn't finish. I must get moving, or I may be sick.
I am incredibly stuffed. I was no match for that intense pan of pancakes. It was 18 euros, though, just for those. I gotta say, I'm finding Vienna quite expensive, much more than I thought Paris was. Yeah, good thing I'm not here very long. Do you, when you're traveling in another country, just start like randomly reading the language on signs just to hear how the language kind of sounds in your own voice? Or when you're in your hotel room in the evening, just start spouting off random words? Is it just me? I don't think so.
The Schmarren had not yet digested, but I like the idea of a cafe. I've already spent 50 euros today. What's another 10? I can't imagine cake after the Schmarren overload. Another time, perhaps. One last sightseeing stop, right ahead. Karlskirche is a grand building with a pretty reflective photo op. Seems like this photography crew has beat me to it. Heading out again through the exquisite colonnade of the Opera House. I was really excited for a breakfast hot dog. Not a hot dog, and it was as dry as it looks. I thought, mistakenly, that mit Brot, with bread, meant a hot dog in a bun. Since my first sausage experience was underwhelming, time for round 2. This looks more promising. I splurged on sauerkraut in this one. It was a total upgrade, but also nearly twice the price. Time for another Viennese cafe experience. Demel was founded in 1786 and became the imperial and royal court confectioner. Empress Elizabeth Sisi was a huge fan. Let's see what all the fuss is about. I had a lovely table by the window, overlooking Kohlmarkt. I love the table so much, so I decided to go for round 2. Looks chocolatey, but tastes fruity. At the end of Kohlmarkt is Michaelerplatz, one of Vienna's most iconic squares, and the grand entrance to the Hofburg Palace. First, a small walk to work off my Demel indulgences. Back in Michaelerplatz, let's head into the palace grounds. Another day, another park. The Volksgarten, to me, is the prettiest in Vienna. I decided to visit the Kunsthistorisches Art History Museum. It's one of the large museums that flank Maria-Theresienplatz. It's an immediately impressive building. I usually go to the top and work my way down in museums, which meant finding this incredible vantage point nearly immediately. Some other interesting pieces were discovered, like this 17th century wax model, Allegory of Death of Emperor Ferdinand III by Daniel Neuberger.
I'm at the Kunstmuseum in Vienna, and it's very interesting. It's a beautiful building. I just have some questions. Who decides this should be made? It's like I need a drinking horn that has like a turtle dragon head with a snake tail standing on a turtle who looks like he's in pain with wings, or like a giant vase and like some sort of monster head and horns. Why? Stuff that got made back then for kings, etc. Sorry, but like, it's beautiful. I understand the purposes of art, but what a waste of money. It is the peasants who pay for it, which is why it's good that these museums revert to public viewing after these dynasties have come and gone.
Ancient Egypt always pulls me in. Every Canadian kid in the 80s got force-fed pyramid projects and mildly terrifying mummy videos.
Well, there is a horse behind me. I spent most of the afternoon inside the museum, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. What a fun adventure. I hope you enjoyed today. I did.
bringing down the proverbial house with our last stop on this Viennese adventure. It's part amusement park, part time capsule, part slightly unsettling dream you didn't know you were having. A collision of funfair, nostalgia, horror, and Viennese quirk, and a hotspot for the tracksuit types. Wow, at one point you know this was cutting-edge tech. Geisterschloss made me feel like a kid at Christmas when I was looking at it. How hilariously absurd is this ride? Okay, someone clearly had no limits in designing this ride. And you know what? I respect that. And of course, you can't have a carnival without an unsettling giant clown overseeing things. After 2 days in Vienna, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. But I'll be back. Until next time, see you soon.